Sweetie, take the wheel. If you've been relying on something outside of yourself to drive the car that is your life, it is time for you to take the wheel because absolutely no one is coming to save you. As the wind is about to blow me off the deck, that is a sign from the beyond that it is your time to step into the driver's seat of your own life. Well, hello, my gorgeous friends. I'm Tara Kinden, founder of Bioenergetic Somatics. My work lives beautifully at the intersection of cosmic rhythms, somatic intelligence, sound and frequency healing. And this new moon in Aries is a vibe. This is not just another new moon. This is the one that we've been waiting for, the most powerful moon of the year. And this is the turning point. So, like I said earlier, if you've been in the passenger seat of your own life, this is your call forward. This is the opportunity for you to step into your frequency led leadership. And let's get started. So take a minute right now to like and subscribe. Also, put on the notification bell so you can be notified every single time one of these awesome videos drops. I'm doing about 2 a week right now and about to ramp things up. So if you want to learn more about the cosmos, about your own somatic intelligence and how to really step into that leadership, this is your opportunity to do that. Now, here's another really important piece for those of you who are very sensitive to the energies that are around you, the energies in your life, the energies from the cosmos, like all of the places that stay right to the end because I am going to do a specific tuning for the moon. And this is about visibility. This is about your leadership. This is about if you're a little nervous around stepping into your power and what that can totally feel like, because a lot of us are afraid of success. This is going to help break away any of the density that might be in the way of you and that goal, whatever it is for you. So stay right to the end to get that tuning. We're going to tune the moon and really put you in alignment with your greatest manifestations. All right, let's talk about all this Aries activation. Of course, the Sabian symbol. So we have such a high level of activation from Aries energies right now. And honestly, this is more than we've experienced in a long time. There is a stacked pile of planets in Aries. It's not just the sun and the moon. We have Mercury, we have Mars, his home turf. We have Saturn, Chiron, Eris, and Neptune all activating the same field and frequency, our identity, action, leadership. This is truly about our independence. And you can even tell, like, I'm lit up, the sky is lit up. The Sabian symbol is really important for this new moon because it signifies a large disappointed audience. Okay, so here is the truth in the moment we're in right now is that there are a lot of people who are going to look back after this moon. They've been waiting, they've been looking outside of themselves for someone to save them. They're hoping for someone or something that's going to come through for them. And that's going to lead to a ton of disappointment because this level of activation, it's the opportunity we haven't seen in a way like this in our entire lifetimes. And it's not about waiting. It's not about hope. It's about us making decisions and taking the reins, leading your life, stepping into your full on power. And this is truly frequency led leadership. And so before we dive into the actual charts, we have to talk about Venus because this moon is happening on Friday, which is Venus's day, the day of the goddess. And here's why that matters so much is that even though this chart is incredibly fire driven, it's very masculine, it's very initiatory. Venus is the counterpoint. She's the balance piece. She's the part of this unique chart that's going to bring us back into our body because Venus is in Taurus. Taurus is her home turf. This is where she gets to be grounded. She gets to be sensual. She gets to really be connected to what feels juicy and good and delicious, where she feels safe, where she actually feels true to herself. So she's not just there being pretty, she is under a little bit of pressure because she's making challenging aspects, of course, to Mars. And this is bringing a little bit of tension between what we desire and what we're taking action on, what we're feeling versus what we're forcing. And, how do we want to go after what we want? So she's making the same pressured aspects to Saturn. Okay, this is going to bring in that restriction, our reality checks. It's like, where are the things not landing or where are things just not available to us right yet? So that makes it a little bit annoying because it's like we want something, but we don't maybe things aren't quite lining up. And so this is where people can trip themselves up, because Aries is the energy giving us this fiery motivation, be like, just go do it, right? The Nike ad, just push yourself through it, burn yourself out, like keep going until you get it. But Venus is absolutely not having that. And she's really asking us to sit down and be like, how does your body actually feel right now? Is this thing you desire aligned with what you need, what you want, truthfully, what you want to magnetize? Because if you override this Venus, you're going to end up creating from force. You're not going to get what you want. And Venus is saying to you, like, create from alignment, create from your truth, create something that is going to bring you longevity and your legacy, because she's in Taurus. This is about legacy. So, yes, this is a sweetie, take the wheel moment, but Venus is going to help us ensure that we just don't grab the wheel and drive ourselves off of a cliff. She's helping us to refine, and that is like super intelligent and incredibly luscious. So think about lusciousness before you're taking action, and you will not be that person. So let's break down the energies of the chart. Okay, so let us start with the human design energy first, so you can get a sense of the somatic landings and what's happening. So when we're looking at this particular chart, we're looking at an emotional generator energy. This is very limited in the amount of definition in the chart, and it's all lower based energy. So remember, when we talk about definition, like defined, undefined, we're looking at the openness, the undefined, and then the defined. We only have like 4 centers defined, and we've got all of these guys open. So there is a massive amount of pressure in the root and the sacral. Now, and by pressure, because normally when we have the centers open, like the head and the root open, that puts pressure on. But because we have a heavily dominated lower energy chart, there is a pressure here to grow. There's a pressure here to take action. There's a pressure here to get the things, checked off of our list. We are very activated, very pressurized, and we're ready to move. Maybe you're not fully clear in the direction you plan to go, but you are feeling that sense of pressure building. And so when we look at the root, we look at the sacral center, we're looking at the will center, we're looking at the solar plexus, the emotional solar plexus. This is all very primal circuitry. So this is not about mental based energy. This is body led frequency kind of energy. And so this is where we're having pressure to move, to be in action, to get things going, where we feel a sense of emotional waves happening as well. And even though it's less water, more fire, we're feeling all of that. All of the movement. We have energy now. We've been waiting for energy. And like I said earlier in the video, this new moon is it. It's like we've been waiting for this moment. We've been waiting for all the planets to be direct. We've been waiting for this initiatory spring energy to kick in. And the energy is available to us, but not for everything. So we need to be conscious of that. Like, where are we trying to put our energy, or what are we trying to put our energy into? And is it something that is going to help you in your future? Because if not, you may burn yourself out trying to do it. So when we're looking at the root center, because this is sort of the engine, if you will, well, I don't know if it's particularly like the engine, but I'm thinking about the pulse. It's the pulse. That's the right word for it. Pulse, not so much the engine. I'll say the sacral is more engine energy. But this is where the pressure is entering the body through that root. And in our somatic lens around this, I really want you to go into your somatic intelligence and be like, ooh, where am I feeling this sense of urgency, this internal pressure building, like this almost propelling momentum, that this is pressure to something has to change. You may be feeling that. You may be feeling a lot of tightness in the hips and the pelvis and the low back. This is important to notice because where are you bracing? Wherever you're bracing down below, you're also bracing up top because they mirror each other. And I know you can't see me on the root, but like think about the throat and the root mirror each other as far as muscle structure goes. And I don't know about you, but on Facebook right now, I'm just this all of these apps around how to move the pelvic lymph flow. And it's like, oh, that's interestingly right on time, as is most of these things. So pay attention to just how you're feeling. What are you noticing? Where is it showing up for you? And then the pressure, like I said, it is here to help create a little movement and momentum, but not force you into something that you don't want to do. So if you're feeling pressure to do something, if you're getting, this, oh, I'm going to miss the boat if I don't get going, like just sit with it before you move with it. That's really important to feel into. We also have a channel being activated from the root to the sacral, which is here, the 3 to the 60. Now, this is an energy, the 60 is about limitation, constraint, conservation. It's really around this being the main storyline or the plot, where we recognize that we cannot keep doing things in the same way that we've been doing them, and this is what's creating that tightness and that restriction, even a sense of fatigue, or we're just hitting capacity. And every woman that I've been talking to lately in client work is like, I'm just at my max, I'm at my limit, I something has to give. And that is a conversation that's happening every single day. So if you're feeling the same way, you are not alone. This is connecting to the 3. Now, the 3 is about innovation. The 3 is about mutation. It's about our new patterns building. It's deep cellular change that comes from this place. We have the moon, the sun, and Chiron there. And Chiron is a very intense player in this lunation, which we will continue to talk about. But so in the gate 3 is it can be a sense of awkwardness, which is why we don't lean into that energy naturally. It feels a little uncomfortable. There can be instability here, and we're basically new wiring is coming in for what we're forming. It's like this new uncomfortable energy. It's like when you start a new job and you have no idea how to do the job, but you've been given the tools, and now they're like, fly, little bird, fly. Good luck. And you're like, I'm not quite ready yet. It's where we have to grow. We're being forced into growth, but it is for our greatest good. So if you can be with the discomfort, come up against your limitations, and at the same time recognize, okay, well, something new is really trying to come through. And I just have to be available in all the discomfort that is here, right? This discomfort is because we are literally in the middle of a mutation. And I know that sounds really like out there, but the truth is, like, we are not the same beings we once were. We're far more sensory driven. We have a lot of sensory invitations and challenges. Like, there's a lot of initiations happening here that is making us feel differently than we've ever felt before, and that is very uncomfortable for some people. So it's like, if you can just be in, like, present to what is here, you will receive the lessons you need to receive that are going to take you to the next place. The other channel I wanted to talk about was the 37 to the 40. Now, this is literally, in human design, we're talking about the new way of being as a human. This is part of that activation. This is part of that transformation. And it is it is, I shouldn't say very emotional, but it's also it is an emotional layer. It is a relational layer as well. This is the idea of bonding. So, it's like peace and self-regulation. So peace being the 37, regulation being the 40. And we're looking at emotional solar plexus energy, and we're looking at will center energy. This is our determination. This is our buckle down and get things done. This is our willpower. But the 37 is about how we're bonding, how we're nourishing ourselves. When we desire emotional connection, when we feel like, I just want to be held. I want you to just hold me while we're moving through this mutation, and then that's, yes, we do all want to be held and supported while we're growing in uncomfortable ways, but you need to be able to hold yourself. This is the big one here. We need to be able to hold ourselves, and we're going to do that through the powers of Venus. Gate 42 is really gate 40, not gate 42, but gate 40 is around where we have to retreat. We have to be alone. We have to restore. We have to recover our energy. It's like leave me alone kind of vibes so that you have a chance to restore your energy. So if you've been feeling depleted, if you've been feeling like your energy is just like whacked out, this is where you may have a call into your inner home, your inner world. So honoring that, right? You may have a deep desire for connection and space at the same time, and that can be quite confusing. You may also feel the sense of a lot of emotions rolling through. Like I do the inner tide every day on my YouTube channel. You can watch that. I'm in day, I don't know, 48 at this point of 100, and we just talk about the waves. Like what is the, oh, I live beside the ocean, so it's like, what is the ocean doing today? That's a direct reflection always of how the inner world feels, and it's been fascinating to study. So again, paying attention to those emotions and withdrawing when you need to, even if everyone else is outwardly moving, but you're feeling a sense of, I need to just restore myself today. Do it. That's the honoring you can give to yourself. Now, there is again just this deep calling for restoring. And so you can see the challenge here is that with all this initiatory energy, with this fire and this masculine drive to push and get things going, yet there being this sense of like, ooh, I actually need to come in. It's almost like there's no time for that. So being in this, on this teeter totter, trying to figure out for you what you need, because if we move too quickly, we can also burn ourselves out, and we may be craving more comfort driven tools, however that shows up for you. So if you're feeling chest heaviness or pressure weightedness, this is a call of like, okay, well, what does my heart want? What does my heart desire for me? Because we can feel confused on this one, and we can feel confused. And we can feel exhausted if we push ourselves too hard. So with the open centers, let's talk about those because we haven't talked about those. This is the white undefined centers that we're talking about. And sorry, like, I don't know what's coming up. There's something, and maybe it's this chest heaviness. So when I do the biofield tuning work, a lot of times how I move energy for clients is I burp. So I'll apologize. And I think my internet just got unstable as I said that. So sometimes that's how it shows up for me. It's like this chest heaviness and this need to release. So you may be feeling that as well. Maybe some of you are feeling this heaviness on the chest, and that makes sense. Perfectly makes sense. Okay. Open spleen. This is where we're amplifying all of the collective fear, survival-based energy. I can promise you that not all of this is yours. So if you're watching a lot of, you don't even have to watch the news to watch the news, because there is always somebody talking about gas prices or whatever. And not that you're trying to stick your head into the sand around this, but there is, I forgot to be holding this. So hopefully all of this that I've been recording got caught. OMG. There we go. See, I wanted to get the video done, and I was so busy wanting to get it done that I forgot the most essential piece, which is the voice part of it. How interesting is that? There's the example of the root pressure and the throat constriction. So yeah, the fear is loud right now. It doesn't always mean that what you're hearing is the truth. So yes, it was like the toilet paper panic where everybody was freaking out like we weren't going to have toilet paper over COVID, but there was still toilet paper. So yes, gas prices are gone up. Yes, there's things going on around that. This too shall pass. It always does. And things are always working out for your highest and best good. And there's an opportunity to ask for that too, because there can, like with this Panic at the Disco, there can be this sense of like, and getting caught up in a swirl. So just watch where you're getting caught up in the swirl and come back into yourself. Okay, what do I need in this moment? Do I have what I need? If I don't have what I need, how can I get what I need to support me enough to feel like I'm grounded here in my body? The open G center, this is next. We're leading to the directionally. This is where we can be confused around our direction. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. This is gonna be like, I don't want to be the same person I've always been. I'm ready to make some changes here. And you don't need to have this all figured out. Okay, you don't need to have this all figured out. The breadcrumbs are always presenting themselves. Are we paying enough attention? Are you paying close enough attention to the signs, the symbols, the breadcrumbs that are presenting themselves to you? And if they are not, ask for more. Ask for them. Yes, it sounds hoo-hoo and high pie in the sky, but it's facts. It works. It works. Try it. You don't know if you don't try. The open throat, the undefined throat can be about, really timing matters. Timing matters. If you don't have the words, if the words aren't coming easily to you, the timing isn't right. Because the words that we speak have power, and they have power to call in what we need, what we desire, what we want to manifest. And if you still don't believe this, I hope soon you do. And you practice the power of using your voice, because if you say, I'm broke, I have no money, gas is too expensive, whatever it is, watch what you're saying. Watch what you're saying, because Venus is sitting in this gate. And we're going to talk about Venus, of course. We're going to talk about the energies of what she's here to show us. But she is the goddess of magnetism, manifestation. She's here to bring it in. Her sitting in this gate is like, if you don't have the words, if you're not ready, I can't bring it to you. If you don't know what you want because you're confused, I cannot bring it to you, period, right? Simplify the complexity. What do you actually need? Speak only when it's clear, and speak it out loud often. That's important. There is a timing to this expression. So when you get the pulse, even if it's in the middle of the night, maybe you need to write something down, say it out loud, whatever it is, like, yes, that is it. That's what I want. You'll have so many moments of clarity, and they may come at the most inopportune times. Hence why I'm saying, like, keep pen and paper beside your bed so you can write down some of the insights you're receiving, because you don't have to force them. You don't have to force anything. This is about receptivity when it involves Venus. And the core message here with the human design is that the pressure is high. We are all feeling an insane amount of pressure. We do have the energy, but the clarity may not be fully online yet. So patience as things are continuing to unveil themselves, and just getting more and more clear. Talking it through, sitting down. I don't know what I want yet. Okay, take quiet time, sit down and think about it. Don't rush this mutation. Do not override your physical body, and do not let fear lead. That is really important. Now, when we're looking at the somatic piece, I want to run through some of the energies here, because this is so body led. This is not mental. This is not conceptual. The bioenergetically, this is really happening in the level of our tissue, of the fascia, of the nervous system, of all of the cellular patterning, of your mitochondria, of all of the little parts of you that make up you. All of the cells are helping with this massive change. And pay attention with the root and looking at the skeletal system, the joints. I feel a little constricted here. then you're going to drink some water. Then you're going to relieve some of that pelvic floor tension. Maybe you're going to go on YouTube and find a video to help you move some of the fluids that may be locked up in the pelvic bowl, because I don't think that this is, it's not showing up everywhere for no reason. It's kind of showing up in multiple places to help support us as we're navigating some of this time. So the Sabian symbol, and to be honest, I've been talking now for I don't even know how long, and I can't even remember if I even talked to you about the Sabian symbol. So this is that large, disappointed audience, and that is sitting in the gate 3. Remember, this is about innovation here and mutation here and feeling uncomfortable. And so it's like an opportunity. Okay, it's an opportunity because the disappointment that we may feel isn't coming from the outside. It's coming from a part of you that knows you're meant to evolve and that things are meant to be different. So if you've got stuck energy, you may feel frustrated. If you've got blocked mutative energy, you could feel disappointed. We don't want to be resisting any change at this time because it's going to bring up constriction and contraction. And so this is basically the two pieces we're looking at is stagnation and movement. Am I stagnating or am I moving? Am I doing same, expecting different results? That's the definition of insanity. Because the earth in this chart is sitting in the gate 50. The gate 50 also runs off the spleen center, which is fear. And this is where we're being kind of like prompted back into, the gate 50 is not about shock. It's about nurturing. I'm having a live brain fart and I'm not editing this out. So I just realized, like, as I'm doing this, the gate 50 is about nurturing and nourishment. And so the power with this earth being here is about self-nourishment. Where am I not nourishing myself? Where could I be nourishing myself? Also watching how much you're nourishing everyone else but yourself. That'll be a big theme as well. This is also an energy that can be aura penetrating. So it's like we come into other people's auras and be like, oh, I know what they need. And you go ahead and you fix it for them, but you're not actually helping them. You are to some extent, but there's also this element of you giving more than you've got to give or not helping teach them how to fish. You're just giving them fish. So you're really not helping them to live their best lives by showing them ways to support themselves, that you're not doing it. It's like doing your kids' laundry until they're 40 instead of teaching them actually how to do laundry. And some of you are going to be like, what? Like way earlier than that. I'm just saying. Okay. So it is not a gentle initiation that we're under. And if you forget to nourish yourself, maybe you will be shocked. I was like, why did I think about shock? I don't know. It was just there. I was like thinking of the gate 51, which is over here off the will center, but the gate 50. Anyway. All right. What are the other little elements here I want to tell you about this chart before I just kind of like, just looking here, we talked about Venus. So we've got the sun, the moon, and we have Chiron all in that gate 3. We have the gate 50, which is where nourishment is, nurturing, nourishing ourselves, nourishing others. And then we have the North Node in the gate 37. Remember, North Node is where we're going. South Node is where we've been. And we've been sitting in a lot of this energy of like needing to regulate. Okay, now what do I need for peace? They're working together here. They're helping you switch from what you've been doing to where you're going. And there's a bit of a propulsion here as well. Now, Mercury, which we didn't talk a lot about, he's here in the gate 25. He is also playing. He's a player in this part because he's also now in Aries. And the gate 25 is around this energy of spirit, really trusting. You're getting lots of insights, lots of inspirations from beyond your own energy. Your highest self is potentially coming through. If you believe that, I do, obviously, that there are always ideas and inspirations coming through to you that'll really help you connect to what you want to be devoted to in the spiritual realms of your life. So pay attention to that. as well. That's why that piece of paper and pad and paper. What is happening, Mercury? He's doing this to me. So, paper and pen beside the bed. That'll be helpful. The other piece is Venus. Venus, remember, she is that sort of the pivot point. She is helping us to be in the lusciousness. I talked about her before this. Okay. Yep. There we go. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. I just feel like you don't need to know all the other things. We're going to continue to talk about them. All right, let's dive into the astrology now. Here's the chart for this beautiful new moon that is happening on April 17th. I don't know if I said that before either, but on Friday, Venus's day. Venus is here in Taurus. She is making her moves towards Uranus, who Uranus is moving into Gemini. And I did a whole separate video on that, which I will link right here for you to go and watch after if you so desire, because he's, not very much longer, literally a week after this new moon is when he moves into Gemini, and Venus is going to blaze the trail before he moves into Gemini. It's almost like she's going to go forward, clearing the path for him, creating this opportunity for growth and expansion and lusciousness, and like, what are we building? What are we doing? Where are things going? Because we almost have no clue where it's all going, and that's okay. So you look at all this Aries energy here. We have Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Eris, Chiron, the moon, and the sun. And it's 27 degrees, 28 minutes. I mean, Chiron is not far behind. There has been a deep healing with Chiron as Chiron's been moving through Aries for all of us around our leadership, our visibility, around our identities. Who are we now? What do we want to do with that? How are we going to lead and step forward? We need leaders. We need women in leadership to really step forward and stop believing that they shouldn't be that chosen person. This is about choosing yourself, not waiting to be chosen. That's what Chiron through Aries has been teaching us, is like, if you have been the supporting role in your particular movie of your life, that is problematic. You actually need to step forward. We've had a lot of people talking about main character energy, own your main character energy. But the truth is, like, if you're not in the driver's seat of your own life, who is driving? Who is steering? If you don't know where you're going or what you want to do, this is like where you will just get blown by the wind. Wherever the wind takes you is where you're going to go. So Chiron through Aries has been saying, no, like, that is not an option anymore. We have to change. We have to decide. We have to make moves and believe that we're capable of bringing whatever it is into fruition. That is what we are capable of doing. If we believe it, it's it. All you need to do is believe it and it will happen. What is that? What the mind believes, the body achieves, something to that effect. I probably just butchered that, but anyway. All right, now we've talked all about how this moon is engaging and interacting. I just want to give you some, when we have so much Aries energy, it's like we've all been waiting for massive change. We've been waiting to get things growing and start sowing the seeds. This is the moon you sow the seeds under, because 6 months from now will be when this moon blossoms. Part of it blossoms. So there will be a part that you seed now that will begin to grow over this next 6 months. And when you look back in 6 months, you're like, wow. And it will have a lot to do with potentially the wounds, that chironic wound around visibility specifically, leadership specifically. Also having Eris in here is where you've been hurt before, where you've felt disrespected, where you felt like put down. Eris here in the mix is like, no more. The bro mentality, the secret boys club, any of that kind of vibe. Eris is like, kaboom, no thanks. And honestly, a lot of us have grown up under the thumb of the bros. So, like, bro marketing, the bro mentality, the like, make it happen, the just do it vibe. It's like, yeah, but it gets to be beautiful. Yeah, but it gets to be heart led, frequency led. How do I feel around these folks? How do I feel around this thing? Your feelings matter, your emotions matter. You're not too much. Like, this is what it is. So, this is all getting reprogrammed right now. And yeah, that feels like a lot because it is, but in the best way because we've been waiting for this. So, for those of us who were like born in the 70s and the 80s, like, we've been waiting for this. Yeah. So it's right now. And those of you who are in that position, who are ready, who've been feeling this pull, who've been feeling this call, who've been like, why haven't I been chosen? Like, I'm at this time in my life and I'm ready. Yeah, this is it. This is it. So this whole invitation is literally that. I mean, we've talked about the human design. We've talked about Uranus moving into Gemini. If you haven't watched that video, go and watch it. It's really important to know what's going on. Our Vesta here, our heart fire, our heart desire is making a connection to Jupiter that's saying, like, let's expand this. But Jupiter being through Cancer, he's still, he's moving forward now, but he's been in Cancer for a while. This is an opportunity to look at your body, look at your home base, the home structures, what feels good for you. It's connecting you to more of your intuitive self. And again, this is like that somatic intelligence. What am I feeling? This is the programming we've been all receiving, is like, do I trust myself? Have I been trusting myself? Getting us ready, preparing us to do that leadership work. And you don't have to go out and lead a corporation. You don't have to go out and lead a company unless you want to. Maybe this is how you lead your family. Maybe this is how you lead your community. Maybe this is how you lead yourself every day. It's not about perfection. That is certainly not what this is. This is about going from the heart first. It's heart first, everything. And then Hygeia. So I'm talking about health and wellness because and health and wellness in the home, health and wellness in the physical body, preventative health and wellness because it's making a connection to Neptune. So we may be under a little illusion and delusion of what that looks like. Oh, right. We've been told it has to look like this. Like, don't worry about yourself. Don't look after yourself. Take care of everyone else. Yeah. How's that working for you? How's that working for you? Because the fluids of the body, Venusian, the lymphatics, everyone's talking about lymphatics right now. Everyone's talking about nervous system stuff, lymphatic stuff. This is all tied to, I think, Uranus moving into Gemini and Hygeia in Cancer and Jupiter being in Cancer for the amount of time he's been in there. So, lymphatics first, nervous system first, going into the heart. How do I feel about these things? This is just really important. So, when I'm looking at the astrology, my interpretation, my intuitive understanding of what we're at here is like building a new dream. Building a new dream that is actually supportive to your whole entire system, not just part of your system. So you can function more holistically. All right, that is that for that. Okay, so now you have a lot of information swirling around in your mind. You've seen the charts, both the human design and the astrology. You felt the energy that's present. So now what I want you to do is give yourself a place to land this information into your physical body. But before we go into Tune the Moon, just take a moment to check in with yourself. If you're driving, come back to this later. Anything that requires your attention, if you're doing that, pause this and come back and listen later. This work is really meant to be experienced fully in your physical body, not just in the mind. And the beautiful thing is that we're working beyond time and space here. So whenever you find this video, whenever you come back to this, it will be the perfect and right moment for you. So go ahead, find a comfortable position, let your body settle, take a couple of really nice deep breaths in, and just notice if you have any heaviness on your heart. And then when you're ready, we're going to begin. All right, so let's get started. You can take a deep breath in and soften your face. So as you exhale, we're going to make this tuning of the moon more active than our usual ones. So if you feel like you want to wiggle a little bit or shake things off, if you want to even, stand up and bring in some movement, I'm going to encourage all of that today because we're going to break up the density that may be in the field. Anything that's preventing you from feeling the power of all of this Aries energy surging through you, but in not an overwhelming way, but in an energized way. If you're still drying off from Pisces season, that's okay. The goal is to bring yourself into the warmth of the sun and this spring energy we're feeling. But in order to do that, sometimes we need to shake off what has been in Pisces season. So deep breaths in, exhaling and releasing. You can even do audible exhales. Ah. And when you do those nice audible exhales, relax your face. Don't worry about what you look like. This is why I don't put video on for this, because I want you to be able to just come into you. You can feel the energetic buoyancy, or maybe you can't, of the sound, of the frequency. And it feels really exciting. Almost like the energy of like a pixie or a fairy, moving through the forest. It's just this real lifting, uplifting energy, almost like a bounce in the beat. And inviting that bounce into your throat chakra, opening up this area of communication, especially if you felt at a loss for words or you felt challenged in your direction. Breathe in through the throat. When you exhale, breathe all the way down into the feet. So you can start to breathe in through the throat, exhale down and through the feet. Create a nice fluid momentum. We're grounding down. It's almost like you can envision sending those pixie-like ambitions coming in through the throat and down into the earth through the feet. This is a process of helping move through the desires you may not have words for yet, but you feel them. And they're really exciting. And so I can tell that some of you are getting a little glitched out in the heart, like maybe it's the heart-based energy. I'm going to switch us up to a different fork here, the 222. We're really going to open up through the heart center, through what I'm kind of thinking of the equilibrium point as we're moving from the throat to the feet. There's a little bit of a block in the heart. Do I deserve it? Am I worthy enough of this? Yes. Yes, you are. The only person in your way right now is your beliefs. If you're struggling, you got this. Sweetie, take the wheel. Think about the wheel of your heart. You don't need to know the exact direction. You just need to be open to the messages, the opportunities, the signs, the symbols, the breadcrumbs. And there's a little bit of almost like a buzzing in the left ear. And to me, the left ear really symbolizes the feminine side of our body. So this is how we nourish ourselves, how we nurture ourselves. And we know that the gate 50 is being activated by the earth. This is about nurturing, nourishment, and where we're maybe giving too much to everyone else. So if you are in that position yourself where you're giving to everybody else and you're not getting that in return, I want you to draw your attention to the back of your heart. So at the actual back of your body, behind your bra strap, I want you to breathe into the space, because this is where you receive support from the universe, support from the bigger beyond to you if you don't have this level of support and if you're giving it out all the time. I want you to receive the love, knowing that you are loved, knowing that you are lovable, knowing that you deserve support, direction, confidence, power. And here's where we need to move. So some of you who are feeling like, I don't know, I want you to wiggle. Just do a little wiggle. Wiggle it just a little bit. Those of you who know that song, you're going to wiggle it. And we're going to let that energy move. And how does that feel for you? I'm going to bring in a different sound. So stay with me, breathe here. We're going to invite in even more movement. Like a deep clearing. Wow, it feels really, really big. Some of you have some really big ambitions that I think you're afraid of. And there is no more need to feel fear. And I actually feel emotion coming up. So if any of you are starting to notice tears flowing or things bubbling or goosebumps or warmth or cold or tingling or any sensation, just be with it. Breathe into the bigness of it. Again, you don't need to know where it's going. You don't need to know how it's going to evolve. But there's just something. Really feel into any resistance you may have, any disbelief. Get out of your head. If you're in your head trying to figure things out, come back into your heart. Breathe into the back of the body, right behind your heart. For some of you, it's right behind your solar plexus. Just breathe back there. And I'm going to bring in Venus for the breakthrough. So we're going to come in with a little bit of breakthrough energy here for anyone who's still feeling just this. Let her bring in soothing comfort. I love to think of this energy as like a cosmic honey flowing in through the crown and just flooding the entire system, filling up any almost vacant spaces where you're missing fullness, where you're feeling a little empty. Let the cosmic honey run through your full system. replenishing, nourishing. Breathing in here, bringing in a little wiggle again, putting a smile on your face, soaking in even that 1 millisecond
All right, my friends.
of
So,
spark
as
you
we're wrapping
felt,
up from
and let that
completing
linger.
your little sound healing session, I want to
Let that
welcome you
linger.
back to this moment and
Let
just give
that
yourself
linger.
thanks for taking the time and making space in your life to have that session. So, what I really hope that you started to feel
All
through
right.
that was where you
Take a
may be
second
holding
to wiggle
yourself
your
back, where you
fingers,
may still be
to
waiting
wiggle your
for someone
toes,
outside of you to help
to
you with
gently
your
release your
direction
jaw,
or
moving it
give
from
you the
left to right
permission to
and right
step
to
into that
left.
next iteration.
And just
Really
know
allowing whatever
tunings like
realizations
this
happen for you to
to
land
amplify
and
your energy do
remembering that
not
it's
need
you.
to take
You're
forever.
the one who's going to
They can be
change the
short and
trajectory of
sweet,
your
and
life.
even just that
You
little
are the
wiggle can
one. Sweetie,
change
take the wheel.
the whole
You're the
trajectory
one who's
of
going to
your
step
energy.
into that
So
leading
thank you.
role in your own life because you know you're ready to go deeper, especially you know that Uranus is moving into Gemini. And maybe you need a little help with that transition. Maybe you want to learn more about different ways you can run a business or be in commerce or have better communication. So, watch this video right here because this is the one on Uranus and Gemini that I recorded. And I want to just close out by saying, always remember who you came here to be. And the opportunities that are available will be endless to you the moment you own this power. So, take care, everyone. Until next time, bye bye.